So you start working on your solo album in 2001, The
Mm-hmm.
Man, Not the Dog.
True that.
And then June 25th, 2002 rolls around.
Right.
That night, were you working in the studio on your album?
That night, well, actually that day, I had got my wax in. You know what I'm saying? I had Shortly on one side, and I had Bending Corners on the other side. This from the Man Not the Dog record. So I had been moving all through Atlanta, man. I mean, just going nonstop. And then just this last stop, I was coming from the club, and I dropped some folk off at home. And next thing you know, man, I fell asleep behind the wheel, man. So I guess I was drunk, man. I fell asleep behind the wheel, and an airbag woke me up. My airbag woke me up. So the airbag woke me up. I'm like, damn, man, I can't believe I just had a wreck, man. Did I just wreck my goddamn shit? And sure enough, yeah, I ran into the guardrail, and the guardrail went through the front of the car by the foot pedal. So it swung me around almost to damn near to where the bottom part of my body was almost kind of in between the two front seats back there. So I couldn't move it. So I just thought my shit was kind of like maybe stuck or something. And I looked up and I seen this white lady. She said, I seen what happened. The ambulance is on the way. So I just stopped struggling trying to get out. And once they pulled up, they kind of like pulled me out the car. And it kind of felt like my leg was asleep or something. You know how when your leg goes asleep or something like that? And shit. And man, it was by the grace of the Most High that I didn't get a DUI, because that's all they could smell in the car, man. Just alcohol all in the goddamn car, man. So it was if I hadn't been bleeding like that, they probably would have gave me a DUI at that time. But they rolled me in the hospital, and I can remember the doctor saying, man, we're gonna have to amputate your leg. I was like, what? It's like, yes, we're gonna have to amputate your leg. And I can just remember a tear going down my eye, and then I'm waking up, and the bottom part of my leg, my right leg below my knee was gone. It was gone. So I was like, it's over for me, man. That's it. I'm done. Nobody want to see a below the knee amputee rapper. Nobody want to see that damn shit. So I was like, I'm done, man. I'm done. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult for someone who hasn't gone through it to really grasp this type of situation. But here you have this body part that you've had your whole life,
Right.
and suddenly it's just not there
Right.
at all. Was it? And you hear these stories how people, it's hard for their brain to accept that their leg isn't there anymore. Like how much of a struggle was it to just kind of figure out your body after that?
It was tough, man. I ain't gonna lie. It was tough, cause I never did see the condition of it. I didn't get a chance to see it, because like I said, I'm thinking my leg just probably stuck or something. Maybe it's broke, and they pulling me out, and that's all I know. I'm not even getting a chance to see it. From what they tell me, it was crushed, like it went into like it was in a meat grinder or some shit like that. So I wake up with a piece of my body gone. But the thing that helped me out, it was an anesthesiologist. He was a below the knee amputee also. So he was like, hey man, he said, look at this. I looked down, he had the prosthetic on and everything. I was like, damn, whoa. So he kind of corresponded with my wife, and we went out to Sacramento and got this thing called the Erdl procedure. And what the Erdl procedure is, it's a weight balancing, it's a weight managing procedure, to where you could kind of like stay on your leg with your residual limb for a while. And it's kind of like taped off like this right here. But that still didn't negate the fact that I had some shit that was gone. You know what I'm saying? So I had to depend on my wife, my sons, my mom and my brother, and just friends, man. I can remember DOC. DOC came by my damn house, man. Talking about DOC, DDOC. Came by my house. Ludacris came by, showed me love. I got nothing but love and respect for that brother. Ludacris and Shaka Zulu came through. And I got to shout out my homeboy Glenn Cook, man, that's locked up right now. He should be getting out soon. But people like them that came, I mean, I ain't even asked, but they came and showed me love like that, man. That really was that really filled up a corner in my heart, bro. Cause once that happened, man, I was like, man, shit, just fuck all this shit, man. Just fuck it. The hell with it.
Was there a lot of crying and depression, you know, in the months following
Well,
that?
yeah, man. Yeah, yep. I can remember calling my mama, crying on the phone, man. And at the time, she was the only one that can really console me at the time. I know my family might have been upset, my wife might have been upset about it, but at the time, man, I just wanted my mama at that time. You feel me? So
Yeah.
that was cool. Then plus my pop still was living too at the time, and definitely got back in my life, man. So I had I had a good support group going on at the time, man.
Well, I remember when I first heard the news and read about what had happened, the one thing that really stood out to me was that your sons came to the hospital and visited you, and they were like, "Daddy, it's going to be okay." And that was really what kind of settled you after
Yeah,
that whole trauma.
yeah, man. My son Simeon, and practically all of them, man. But him in particular was like, man, Dad, I'm gonna be your leg for you, and so my wife, I'm gonna be your leg for you too. So knowing that, with that in your corner, man, like I said, that really that strengthening me. That strengthened me. It really strengthened me to where I'm like, okay, well, if I get the vibe to write, maybe I'll go ahead on and write it out. Maybe I'll go on and jot it down and just see what it looked like at the end of the day. But people think that folk rap and do music are, you know, superhuman, don't have feelings or whatever, but